Get into it, man. Let's discuss. What do we have events to discuss? Like fucking UFCs. I feel like I haven't seen the UFC.
No,
forever.
the Wilder Ortiz fight was on Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It was basically he was just getting outboxed for a couple rounds and then landed his right hand to death.
Somebody told me about that. Told me that about Wilder is that he's wild. He doesn't have good technical boxing, but he's just big and throws a lot of bombers.
Well, that's the thing. He's not that big. At heavyweight, I think his last fight, he was like 219, 211 maybe.
Not big, but you know what I mean.
But his frame's big.
Yeah.
He's long.
Just a big guy, tall, big, long, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just got freaky power. So he banks on like just landing his right hand. It's worked.
Yeah.
It's like what, 42 fights, 41 knockouts.
I root for him, man. I think we talked about this before, but I think boxing in America we need a heavyweight American great. Yeah. If we don't have that, America doesn't give two fucks about boxing. Like, we just don't care. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a Pacquiao come around, a Mayweather fight we'll show up for, but nobody's following it like the Tyson days, the Ali days, or Holyfield days, and whatever. So we need an American heavyweight champ. That's what we need. 100%. So that's why I'm like, Wilder's our guy. He has to be our guy.
Yeah, there's nobody else right now.
Yeah. So I'm down with Wilder.
Yeah, I'm just glad he ended up winning it because I was worried about with Ortiz, like if he won, then we have another like Joshua and Andy Ruiz situation where it's like, oh, I want to see Joshua and Wilder. Now we have to watch, Wilder Ruiz.
When's the Wilder, what's his name, Gypsy King rematch going to happen?
I don't know.
That shit needs to happen.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
That would be hype. All right, MMA news. They got McGregor and Cowboy signed up. That's when?
That is in February, I think.
Okay, not too far.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just glad on his way down. Be back.
McGregor's back, but he's huge question mark. Let's hope.
Yeah.
We'll hope that he's been putting it like you would think he would, and he hasn't like the millions haven't gotten to him type of thing.
Yeah, Ferguson and Khabib got matched up for like April. But
this not even the 5th time. Give a fuck about that matchup until like March 31st.
Until I see them both in the octagon looking at each other.
Wait, you're gonna tell me do a fine announcement for 6 months in the future? I don't give a shit. Yeah. People that we haven't been able to get together before because of issues.
4 times. Way too far. This will be their 5th time trying to make this fight.
Way too far in advance. So there'll be 6 things that'll happen between now and then, between injuries, drug tests. Yeah. And family death or some shit like that. It's like, just like, all right, cool. There's many chances for this fight to be off then on again between now and April.
Yeah.
Not hyped for that.
No, but, and then in 2 weeks, so not this weekend, but next, Holloway, Volkanovski, which is going to be, going to be dope.
Yeah. Both of those guys always bring great fights, too. So it's like you have a list of fighters that don't have to guarantee you necessarily wins, whatever, but you'll guaranteed be entertained like a motherfucker, 100%. Man. So
yeah, and then the one that's flying under the radar, Paul Felder and Dan Hooker got matched up for February.
Oh, I remember Felder because you told me about Felder.
Yeah,
he's fun.
He's fun to watch, and Dan Hooker's fun to watch. So it's going to be two. Hooker. He's the teammate of Stylebenders.
Okay,
he's that tall, skinny white dude.
I can't pay.
Edson Barbosa beat the shit out of him.
Really?
But yeah,
Barbosa's a beast. So.
But so is he though. Like he's tough. It was one of those fights where it's like he wasn't putting him away, but it was just like, ooh,
All right.
But he hung in there. So that was a good fight. And then since then he's been on a tear, just mauling people.
What weight is this?
50, 55, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
I'll be down with it.
Hooker's gonna be.
When's Stylebender fighting again? Is that a thing yet, or not?
Not
still
yet.
On ice?
They're talking about him and Romero.
Yeah, but I heard something about Romero turning that down or something, or maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's pretty
much
much
some decent stuff, but it's. Nothing. I think there's a fight card coming up.
That's like their December 14th.
Yeah, that's their like last of the year one. It's got 3 titles on the line. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, Holloway, Volkanovski. I think Nunes and Durandame, who I can't stand.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate her. I
like that name. Durandame just sounds.
It does.
It's a dope sounding name.
I think she's super talented. But yeah, after the Holly Holm fight with her, where she threw like late punches after the bell like 3 times.
Yeah.
I was like, eh. And then she was
Character
like,
flaw.
The whole point of that division, like, cause she went up to 145 and fought Holly Holm there. Like, the whole point of that division was for Cyborg, and then when she realized she won the belt and had to fight Cyborg, she was like, I'm out.
I remember that.
I was like,
remember
really?
That. Some bitch shit.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, she also fought a dude at one point in a kickboxing fight.
Did she?
Yeah, she knocked him out.
Well, that's commendable.
But, yeah, just can't stand her, though.
Okay, so fight shit's
Fights.
on. There's a lot of really cool jiu-jitsu things going on.
I haven't watched it yet, but last night, Luke Rockhold and
Was
Nicky
that last
Rod,
night?
That was last
one
night.
of the things. Okay.
Polaris. I haven't watched it, but
Who won? Do you know?
I didn't see. I haven't watched
Pull
it
that
yet.
up. Pull it up, Jamie.
I started to watch it, and then I fell asleep.
I didn't realize it was that close. That's what I'm loving about in competitive jiu-jitsu. There are so many cool super matches that are happening right now, mainly because a lot of the kings in this, right? Your Gordon Ryans and Nicky Rods and just everybody out of that down our death squad are so active. Like, they're not just like, oh, we did ADCC, so we're going to take 6 months off to work on our game some more.
Yeah.
They're like, no, back out there competing like a week later and shit.
Yeah.
So
And I love, too, that there's, like, organizations like Polaris and then EBI, stuff like that are putting on, like, these super matches, but with other people, like Luke Rockhold,
yeah,
for example.
UFC guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know where's the results. Luke Rockhold drops decision. Oh, he lost the decision to Nicky Rod. Ooh, that's interesting. So that motherfucker's just racking up black belts that he beats.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's how good he is, man. There's a match between him and some, I think it's Gordon Ryan and some high-level wrestler I've been hearing about, too, that's going to be dope. That all the traditional wrestling fans that we have at the gym talked about a lot. I can't remember his name, but they were saying it's just going to be insane. And there's like a no leg lock kind of rule they put on it because the guy doesn't have jiu-jitsu like that. But his wrestling is apparently insanely good. So it'll be interesting seeing Gordon play with that. I mean, it'll be obvious where it'll go, likely.
Right.
Gordon will take his back and he'll choke him. However, getting to that point would be the fun stuff. Once it hits the ground, okay, we know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But standing and like the chess match there, that'll be fun.
That will. Man, I'm kind of surprised, honestly, like, that Luke Rockhold was able to hang in there with Nicky Rod a little bit. Like,
I'm not. Why?
well, I just think, like, I mean, he has this, like, Nicky Rod has this reputation of, like, going out and beating all these, like, world-class, like, just jiu-jitsu black belts that focus all, like, just on jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Whereas Luke Rockhold has, you know, jiu-jitsu, sick ground game, black belt, but for the past, like, 10, 15 years, he's been focusing on MMA.
Right.
So it's just a different style than you're like.
Yeah, but he's no
competitive
chump
jiu-jitsu.
when it comes to. I mean, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think. So,
Yeah, he is.
So he's no slouch in that respect either. So
Sorry to Pat, but he's still one of my favorites.
no one seems to like him. He's like
I love him.
He's like the Creed of MMA fighters.
I'm gonna go out there and say this. Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
What's that other band everybody fucking hates? What's the Nickelback? He's the Nickelback of MMA.
But why?
Luke Rockhold, you are the Nickelback of MMA. But guess what? Nickelback's got some good songs, man. Nobody wants to admit that shit. They sell records for a reason. Nickelback is like that band that nobody likes, but somehow they sold millions of records. You can't meet anyone that wants to admit they own one.
I feel like they're the equivalent of, like, the Captain D's of, like, seafood. It's like whoever eats there, you eat it in your car. Right. Nobody else knows. You throw away the wrapper before you get in.
Arby's is that, right? Somehow fucking Arby's keeps multiplying. I've never once met someone that's like, dude, I fucking love Arby's. Doesn't exist.
I've seen it there. Like, I'll be like, oh, there's an Arby's. No temptation to go in.
Yeah. So so that's what Luke Rockhold probably is. Sorry, dude. You're Arby's, Captain D's, Nickelback and Creed, Luke Rockhold.
Yeah. But I don't like Nickelback. I like you, Luke. Keep it up.
Yeah, keep up with...
keep it up.
What's that Nickelback song? I was just about
Look
to sing
at this photograph.
Yeah. There's another one. I Want to Be a Rock Star. The one with Chuck Liddell in it. So it's like, maybe you could be on I Want to Be a Rock Star too, Luke.
Or the photograph one, it just pulls out. It's a picture of Luke.
Look, it's Nicky Rod. Look at this photograph. I like him too, though. He is a guy that people say he's a douchebag, and he likely is. He comes across kind of douchey, but I've never disliked him. I've always rooted for him when he's fought.
Yeah.
I was rooting for him to beat Bisping, so when Bisping fucking embarrassed the fuck out of him, I was like, God damn, like, So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It exists. People don't like him. What the fuck ever.
Yeah, I stand by it though. I like him. I think he's a beast. His fighting style, I think, too, is really fun to watch. His striking's like it's nothing crazy, but his ground game is so overrated. Man.
Yeah. I don't get. That's what I think. It's his attitude that people don't like because his fighting style is awesome. I don't dislike it at all.
Yeah, I think he has a very similar attitude to like a Conor McGregor or something like that.
Yeah, his comes off with a sense of arrogance, I think, and that's like a little just like stuck up, and that's where I think people catch. That's what catches people's ears that they don't like. Maybe. Assumption. I haven't really asked because I don't give a fuck. Like, oh, why don't you don't like Luke Rockhold? All right, I don't fucking care. Like, it's the same. It's the same as like fucking Creed or Nickelback. Like, oh, you don't like him? All right, don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what people like or don't like. So, whatevs. This segment's brought to you by Arby's.
Yeah.
Go get you a roast beef sandwich. Where the fuck they sell? I don't know. Arby's. They have the meats. I've seen those commercials.
There you go.
You see those commercials that were like, how are you affording this? Who's buying your sandwiches?
Who's buying your meat?
Conspiracy. Ukraine.
I want to say, too, somebody was telling me that it's one of the fastest growing fast food chains.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Must be like a Midwest thing. Maybe it's not a South thing.
But they're everywhere down here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never seen their parking lot full. Like, it's just like...
But I'm telling you...
They are selling drugs and people out of that thing. They are fucking human trafficking in Arby's. And I'm putting you on notice, Arby's.
Yeah, that's my theory about, like, Captain D's. It's like, there's no way that that many people want fast food fish.
Yeah.
It just sounds gross.
It's just like... God, who is the fucking comedian? It's a comedian.
We'll throw Long John Silver's in there too.
I remember. Long John. It's basically the same business. But Paul Mooney talked about that. Paul Mooney on Dave Chappelle said he was out in black barbershops. He's like, black barbershops exist to sell weed. They selling drugs out of those things. Notice how like you go to a black barbershop, they're always pretty empty, but man, they look fucking nice. Man, that's Arby's, man. Arby's, Captain D's. They said human trafficking going on in the back or some shit. Fucking.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna get our boy, what's his face on this, Turning the Frogs gay guy.
Oh, Alex Jones?
Alex Jones, we're getting you on this.
Is.
Arby's. There's an Arby's
gate.
Human trafficking pizza gate going on. Roast beef gate. Oh, shit. All right. Let's reel this bitch in.
Yeah.
Tell me about your weekend, Tyler.
Ooh. So, interesting weekend. Finally, I guess kind of got back into dating a little bit. Dabbled my toes in it. Took a pretty long hiatus for like a year.
Explain how you got where you're at.
What do you mean?
What? Dating, like why? How? What was the hiatus? Why? All that.
Right. So my kind of stance on like going out on dates, doing stuff like that is like if it's something where you're like I need this, don't do it.
Okay.
So for me, I'm like, all right. So like, I had a relationship. Probably my last one was like a year and a half. Probably almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
So it's like taking some time off of that, but it was for a while too, like a couple of years, right? So after that, I want to take a break. Like, don't go right back into something since it's just going to be the same shit over again. Yeah. So I want to take some time, invest in myself, figure out, what I'm doing, and then once I do that, it's like, don't go out and just look for it. Just do my thing, and then once you stumble across something, there it is.
Gotcha.
That's kind of my approach to it.
So that's where you've arrived currently in life.
Yeah.
Right now. Yes.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I was just kind of doing my thing. Something popped up, so I was like, okay, why not go out on this date? So planned on having going out. I think we had talked on Sunday over on the phone because I usually like to do that too, especially if I'm going out with somebody. So that way, make sure their voice is a couple octaves lower, something like that.
Right. Yep. Not just the written word.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And two, you can kind of get a feel for the chemistry because you can already have that kind of first conversation in, things like that, right? So then we planned on going out getting Korean barbecue, which I never had, still haven't.
Okay, that needs to go on your list because that's fucking.
It's right at the top of my list. I just haven't gotten around to it.
All the Koreans we know, and you.
I know.
Shame on your Korean friends.
I know. I bring dishonor. But yeah, so fast forward to that. The day of hits. we're shoot
We're
her a
talking
text.
first date material
First
right
date,
now, right?
first date,
First
yep.
date.
First date, a couple of phone combos, texting.
Yes.
To the extent of it, right? So getting a place locked down, already had that, figuring out a good time, right? And then I get hit with this text that says, hey, one of my girlfriends is in town, a super close friend that I grew up with, and she wanted to go out, and wanted basically to see her while I'm in. She's only in town for tonight or whatever.
Right.
Then she has to leave. So she was like, instead of going out, do you want to just come out with us? So I was like,
Sure.
okay,
Right.
sure,
Right.
So then I head down there, and then I'm like, okay, well, where's this? And she's like, okay, so out in Buckhead. Go out to Buckhead, do the thing, looking around. Finally
Buckhead,
find them.
for those that don't know, is
yeah,
common going out clubbing area in Atlanta.
right. So tons of bars, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Didn't really think too much about it. It's like, whatever, I'm there. So head down there. It's like 45-minute drive, right? Get there, and then it quickly dawned on me as soon as I saw the table that I'm crashing girls' night.
How many people total were there? There was her and
two friends.
two
so
friends.
three.
So 3 girls and you.
3 girls, me.
So you're like not the fifth wheel, but basically felt like we're kind of the fifth wheel.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, they were rolling with the tricycle, and I was trying to turn it into a 4-wheeler. So and then she'd even wanted me to like come meet up with them because they were gonna pregame before they went down, and then that ended up, I was like, nah, like we'll just catch you at the bar or whatever. So anyway, so then it quickly dawned on me that her friends were just wanting to have like a girls' night, and then that I was basically crashing it, which I totally get, because it would have been the same thing if like if we were having like boys' night and then somebody brings their girl.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
now you fucked up how we can talk around each other.
Right.
And yes, okay. Especially they're single girls and want to
Right.
do their thing too. So
100%. So we talked for a little bit. Had a good time, whatever. Had a couple of drinks, and then I was like, all right. Like her and one of her girlfriends were like clearly not on the same page with it. So it's like, cool, I'm gonna duck out. Y'all enjoy your girls'
right,
night.
you didn't want to be the problem, right? So,
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So fast forward all that.
Did the nice guy thing.
Nice guy thing.
Yeah.
Right. So fast forward to yesterday. This is
Yeah.
all on Friday, right? So we basically, like, after that, sent a couple of texts here and there, like, basically, telling her it was, great meeting, whatever.
Yeah.
Have to line it up this weekend. She told me, she was free pretty much, the rest of the weekend, right?
Yep.
Then, nothing. Radio silence.
Total ghost town.
Total ghost. So,
And at this point, you're expecting it. If I'm remembering this right, you're expecting to hear from her the night of, like maybe when she gets home, or the girls' night is over, maybe.
So I
then,
did. Yeah. I heard from her once she got back after girls' night.
Okay.
But it was like 5 in the morning. Like,
but what was it? Or just like, hey, sorry about all that. Let's talk tomorrow, type of thing, or something. And then
nothing.
This was
yesterday, so Saturday.
Yeah, the whole thing was Friday night, right?
Yep.
And then so Saturday, I was trying to remember our dialogue. We had talked about this. Saturday it was you get home at 4 or 5 in the morning. Yeah, you're gonna sleep half the day. That's cool.
Right.
So that's understood. It's understood that that's radio silent.
Totally.
Then like evening hits and it's like
nothing.
Now like
yeah.
And then obviously now we've been almost another full day and that's
still nothing. Right. So yeah, yesterday like in the evening, like around I remember I was telling you like 9 or 10.
Yep.
Like shot a couple texts.
Yeah, you're like Saturday night. It's kind of the last like opportunity.
Other than like maybe tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but that's hard too because if everybody's got work or whatever.
Right.
It's Sunday night. So what is your?
So
before I fucking chime in on my tons of my shit on this, what's your like? Where are you at with that? What's your feedback or your?
Right. So my thing with it, and like, I guess the thing that drives me nuts just in general about people, and I guess that I realize, like with this specifically, is just like, like I get it. I used to be like a lot less of a confrontational person than I am, right? So if it's something where it's like, hey, like this isn't working, whatever.
Yeah.
I would just rather you tell me that shit instead of like flaking
Yeah.
or ghosting or anything like that. Like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Just tell me so I can know to like
Yeah, don't leave
move
people
on,
hanging,
do other
right?
stuff. Yeah, just don't leave me hanging. So it's the same thing where it's like, you know, if I'm trying to make plans with a friend and they're like wishy-washy, not, you know, not committing to anything, and then they're like, hey, last minute, nah, I'm gonna go do this over here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with friends. Also popped its head up here, you know. So that was something where I was just like, you know, I would much rather just being upfront about it, be like, hey, not sure or whatever. Don't, you know, tell me one thing like, hey, you know, I've got, you know, Saturday and Sunday free.
Yeah.
Right, and then just not say anything basically.
Yeah. So a couple things, right? Number one, huge red flag with me would have been, and this is obviously hindsight, so this is easier in
100%.
hindsight. Huge red flag would have been for me would have been that phone call that, hey, my girlfriend's coming in town. Can we just combine these plans?
Right.
Because first date, like second date, yeah, that's easy material.
100%.
First date, like, bitch, I don't know you yet. Nah, I shouldn't say bitch.
Well,
I use that very generally.
right, but no, but that's true.
But
that was something I didn't realize.
I don't know you yet. We don't have that connection yet that we can now have a connection within a group.
Right.
We didn't meet in a group, so it's difficult to continue that in a group. It's okay to do that later. Like, it would have been much cooler if she'd have been like, we got these plans. I'm meeting up with the girls at 8. Let's you and me meet at 7.
Right.
That would have made more sense, because then you're able to say, we've established some one-on-one things that we like about each other. Now let's, as a couple or as a, you know, people that have established understanding and knowing each other,
Right.
join this group, and that would have been so much cooler. Trying to do them all simultaneously makes everything really awkward. It's very obvious to our friends that you are, you know, new to the group, and this, you know,
100%.
the whole thing's fucking awkward.
Well,
it's
it's
not
weird.
fair to you. It's not fair to our friends.
Mm-mm.
It was really irresponsible of her when you look back at it.
Yeah.
And you know, to her, I don't, not even a shit on her. Like, people make mistakes like that. They think
100%.
like, oh, maybe I can make both work, and really they both don't work. You know?
Right, and I get it. I've done, you know, not similar shit like that, but I've tried, you know, to make, like, if I've got
Best of
multiple
both
things I
worlds.
want to do that's happening at the same time, I get it. You try and make something happen, right?
It came
Totally
from a
understand.
good place.
100%.
It was incredibly naive, and
Yeah, but I didn't realize how weird it is to be like to walk up to a situation like that and be like, okay, you're the person I'm here to see, but now I got to get to know you, and then on top of it, I got to get to know your friends too that have known you for forever.
Yeah.
And it was just me.
yeah,
So I was like, oh, great.
yeah, that's too hard, man. That's
That was tough. I
and
needed a dating
it
coach.
should, like I said, it's simply it's simply not fair. It's
Right.
not fair to everyone involved, and especially not fair to anything. Like, say, on other circumstances, you guys could hit it off perfectly, and
100%.
it basically didn't give you guys even a chance on that shit.
Not at all.
And to me, outside looking in, very bird's eye view, doing that and the ghosting and like the hot and coldness of everything is a reflection of her. It's like, oh, this is the kind of person you are. This isn't just a coincidence, circumstance. This is just how you live life. And to me, like, that's like red flag city. I'm like, oh, you got a lot fucked up. You got too many moving pieces.
Right.
I can't pin you down as a person, and that's not out of a compliment either. Out of it's more of an insult, because
It's not like, oh, like you're such a mystery. It's like,
like, oh, you're so deep. It's not deep.
No.
It's chaos.
Right.
And if I can't pin you down as a person because of chaos, that to me is huge red flags, and indicative of this isn't just this weekend. If you continue talking to her, right, which is a thing, it might, and that's cool too, but almost do it with an understanding that this wasn't an outlier. This is likely how her life is.
Right.
And, you know, hey, that might be cool, and people change and people evolve, and this just might be where she's at now in life, but I have a hard time believing that was just this weekend, and that was just a dynamic between you and her. It's very much probably a dynamic she has with other people in her life. Family, friends, other guys she might be trying to date, right? These are just
100%.
how she is right now, and it is, again, I looked it up to make sure I fucking reference it right, the Maya Angelou quote, when people show you who they are, believe them, right? So when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And this is it. Like, I would be like, cool, you are, unpredictable. You're a little messy.
Yeah.
You're a little chaotic, and you are not. I can't count on you, right? Can't count on you to do what you said you would do to get in touch. You had plans this weekend.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you were willing to put your shit on hold for her.
100%.
And it doesn't seem like it was the opposite. It was reciprocated. And to me, this is where like narcissism has to take over a bit and be like, I'm above that. You know what I mean? Like I would have to be like, no, like that's not how this shit works with me. Well, it could work with some other fucking do-gooder down the street, but that ain't not me, motherfucker.
Right. Well, and that's kind of why I was like, okay, cool. Like I didn't hear from you, so I had plans to go have a poker night with the boys. Yeah. I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, imagine if you had canceled that. Been like, and wait, like I would have been fucking pissed. I would
have been so upset.
And then it wouldn't even been pissed at her at that point. I would have been pissed at yourself, right? 100%. Be like, I'm a fucking sucker. I think I told you that that night, and I was like, did you at least go? And you're like, yeah. I was like, good. If you would have said no, I would have called your ass a sucker because that is sucker shit. And what she might be used to, and this is very much assumptions based on the 100%. Snapshot of her. What she might be used to is people just being suckers and being like, well, she's so pretty, so she gets away with these things. So not me, motherfucker. Mm-mm. You are one of a fucking million other pretty girls in Beaufort, let alone
maybe the area,
in the greater Atlanta area.
There it is.
And the fucking 13 counties of Metro Atlanta. However, like to me, and this is, I think, I was gonna say this is like young mentality, but it's really not young mentality. Mm-hmm. It's immature emotional mentality, so that you can get that out of older people as well, that we say because people are pretty, they can get away with these things. And if the girl if you were just kind of about her looks, you wouldn't be letting her get away with that shit. You know what I mean?
100%.
Whereas she is smoking hot. I've seen her. She's beautiful. And I think she's used to just being able to get away with being a shitty person to people. Or not even, God, I feel like I'm judging her really bad. But at least
I know what you mean. Like
shitty actions to people. Maybe it's not a reflection of it's maybe not a reflection of her just yet, but in the Maya world it kind of is, in that she's used to being able to treat people shitty or be inconsistent with people and be a flake and get away with it because they're like, well, she's kind of fine. I'm cool with it. Whatever. We'll be around. And likely she needs more people to be like, hey, you know what? You fucked up. Now you got to try. Yeah. Now, to me, that's where my ego like starts to take over and be like, fuck that. Chase me now. Like, I've made my effort.
That's where we're
now
at.
You got to make 2 times the effort to even get my attention again. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think it's necessary. It's necessary to curve people like that because they could end up being in your life long term, but you've set a standard that says, you can be in my life if you're willing to come at an equal thing. Yeah. I'm not going the 100 yards for you and see you go 0 yards. I'll go 50 to watch you come 50, and we'll help each other. That shit's cool. Yeah. But the minute becomes this very self-centered, selfish thing, to me, I'll take one example and I'll multiply it times a lifetime. Yeah. Right. I do this when this is a side story, but when I used to rent out houses, and I'm showing the house to a tenant. And if the tenant's like, hey, what about that crack? Or what about, it's kind of cold in this room? I'd be like, I'd take that mention and multiply it times 12 months of being a tenant. And I would say, don't want you as a tenant. And in my mind, I would never call them back. I would X them off my list immediately. The ones that were just cool about shit, I was like, cool, you can be a tenant. That's how I think we should do with life. When you're meeting someone new, you take that and you say, it's not a red flag yet because it's new. Right. However, if I took that and multiplied it times 12 months in a year, would I be sick of that shit? Fuck yeah, you would. You'd be sick of being ghosted or her not backing it. Like, that would be an issue. Like, that's breakup 100%. Material. Like, you know what? I see where this can go. I don't like it. And you can either walk away from it or you can tell that person, like, look, I don't like the way you did that. You need to fix that shit or we could be cool. You could become amongst the other 7 billion people in the world that I just don't know. Yeah. And that's fine, too. I don't have to hate you because of it. But we can also not exist around each other, and that's cool also. Right. But pick one, bitch, because I'm not bringing... You have to be so selective about what is in your fucking fish tank, you know what I mean? And I'm not bringing toxic shit in my fish tank. Nope. It either has to change or it has to get the fuck out. And to me, when I see people like that, again, it was a harmless, innocent weekend. Yeah. She could have a really good reason for it. There's a lot of 100%. Things that could be positive about it. But for me, my fucking little antennas go up like, you are about to get evicted from life in a moment. And you got one way to save this, and that's it, you know? So that shit bugs me when I hear it. And obviously it doesn't happen to me, but it bugs me when I hear it on other people's behalf, too, because it's like, you don't get to do that to people, man. fuck you.
100%.
And it comes from like privilege, like pretty privilege. Like, no, you don't. I don't give a fuck if you're a fucking dime piece. You don't get to treat me like shit at all. That's how, I've had that attitude with people that have good money, or like super rich.
Yeah.
I've had that with jiu-jitsu world, like fucking high level black. Like you don't.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck where you are in status of what you think you are. You a man just like me, or you a female. You're a human being just like me. I'll be fucking damned if you'll ever talk down to me. Like that shit will never, ever, ever happen, and I won't do it to you. But I'll be goddamn if you'll do it to me. So that when that shit happens like that, it's not talking down, but I get that same like rise out of me. Like, are you thinking I'm like beneath you? Is that why you treat me like that? Fuck you.
Right.
You know, that bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah. No. And that's basically where I'm at now. It's like, you know, okay, if you want to make some shit happen, it's on you.
Yep.
I did my part.
Yeah. It's her turn to prove herself.
Right. Know? I think even above and beyond like probably the normal shit.
Fuck yeah, you put up with her friends without even knowing her.
Right.
You voluntarily evicted yourself from the situation.
Without making a scene, doing any stink.
Without giving her shit about it at all.
No.
And she fucking ghosted you. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll write people off fucking fast. I'll get in a fuck you mode real quick because, again, and this I think is therapeutic because I think we get caught up, not necessarily saying you with her by any means, but we as humans would get caught up on someone like, oh, but that one is can't live without. I need this. It's like, dude, there are fucking 7 billion. We're rolling up on 8 billion people.
Right.
Why the fuck do I give a fuck about one?
Yeah.
You want to talk about like you want to put that on a chart that is like a little sliver of the pie. Then why would I ever do that? And that goes for anyone. Period.
100%.
And the only sliver of fucking pie I give a fuck about is my sliver. And outside of that, I get to, and therefore, like you were saying before, I don't go to other slivers of the pie out of need. I go out of want. And if I want you in my life, I will choose that. Not because I fucking need you.
Right.
And that's where it becomes flawed and like problematic, man.
Well, yeah, and I think you can also like tell the people that are running around like everybody's seen that one person that they know that's always hopping from one relationship to the next over and over and over.
Yep.
And those people I don't think ever take time to invest in themselves, so they don't know
they're avoiding
who they are. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that I was like, I've seen that, and I was like, I don't want to be that. Yeah. So I'm gonna, do my own thing. Yeah. And if the situation comes along, then I'll go along with it.
I think that's healthy, man. It's there's a meme that says that. It's like something about all these girls talking about this guy's my world, and then a month later, this guy's my world. Bitch, you building a universe. You got a galaxy going on. But it's real. I think that is an aggressive avoidance of self-discovery and an aggressive avoidance of self-awareness. Yeah. And because that scares a lot of people. It's people that we hide so much, man, that we're afraid of uncovering what we've hidden, like what we've dug in our backyards, and just like with, say you're feuding with someone, the longer you go without talking to them, it gets even harder to talk to them. Same thing with the shit that we hide. The longer we go without unburying it, it makes us scareder to even unbury it. So then we're just like, well, fuck it, I'll just go fall in love again. Or fuck it, I'll just go lean on this person. I'll do that, and I'll find this drug, and I'll find this person or this situation. And we're just hopping over, and you see people do that. That's that social media life that we're traveling here now, and I got this new dog, and I got this new car. And it's like we all see what you're doing, mainly because we do it too. Right. And it's this consumerism or this emotional reliance-ism that is just all avoidance. We're just avoiding self. And because self is fucking scary, and the longer we avoid it, the scarier it becomes. Oh, yeah. So that's why you meet people and like you'll talk about DMT or you talk about acid or mushrooms and like psychedelics. They're like, no, I'm afraid of what's going to... Yeah, you're afraid of yourself. Yeah. Because all those drugs they're internalizing, and you get to you have to face yourself in those. It's all those are. When people describe bad trips, you're facing your fucking self you're facing some of the dark shit you didn't want to unbury. So when you talk to people about it and they say, I'm afraid, it's like, hey, you're afraid of you. Yeah. And people don't want to, they worded it that way, they would think a little harder about that. You're not just afraid of that drug or tripping, but you're afraid of you. And to me, that is the great plight of our now society. In that we are a society afraid of our fucking selves.
Yeah.
And now, the same way you said, you see that in people, like they date, and then just avoid, and you don't want to be that way. That's the same way. Now that I've recognized that, I can't unrecognize it, and I'm frightened to death of ever being like that. So I incessantly will like I got my backyard's got holes. Like I'm looking for shit now. Feel like I've discovered everything, and I'm like, no, there's more in there somewhere. Because I want to, because my grand fear is becoming that person that just seeks external things to disguise me. Like I've gotten so close to it that the last thing I want to be is far from it again, because I don't want to be afraid of getting close to it again. It's fucking bang, you know.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was my weekend.
so you didn't get your dick wet this weekend. All right. In summary,
didn't get to try out the blowfish.
Didn't get to try out the old blowfish, the old 12-6, baby.
Yeah. I think, you know, and there was some shit I was thinking about on the way over this morning too, because I remember last weekend when we were out in Birmingham, you know, for IBJJF and all of that.
Yep.
Then we went out to that bar afterwards.
Yep.
I was on the phone talking to this girl.
Yep.
It was supposed to be like a 10-minute thing. Turned into like an hour and a half.
Yep.
Where I was like, I could have been inside.
Wow.
Talking to
Matter of fact,
all
who
the
told you
college-
that?
You did.
I did. That's right.
You did.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? And
But I realize it now.
Yeah, well, hindsight's an awesome thing like that.
It's
right?
great. But I was like, God, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's and I think that's I don't know. I mean, there's some to that. I do that as well. You live in the future. You gotta invest in something going forward.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And obviously, like, I think I probably would have done the same thing again. You know,
Yeah.
just because it's like lining, you know, in the same scenario, even
It's
knowing
investing in future possibilities.
Right.
Is what it is.
Right, and
that's
that
okay.
to me seemed more likely than
current stuff.
Right.
I think there's a cool life lesson out of that, and that is that if you should never you should learn from the past, never live in it.
Right.
You should plan for the future, and that's a thing, but never live in it, and then live in the now thing, right? So what it would have been, it should have been a 5 or 10 minute conversation, and be like, yes, this is cool for right now because it's a future plan. But if I'm living in the future, I'm ignoring what I'm currently in.
Yep.
And then, in fact, that was probably there's a life lesson in that, but that's the most practical example that exists right there.
Yeah.
You were in a place amongst other single people in a world where there were beautiful people and there were people to meet, but you were living in the following weekend.
Right.
And it was like you missed out on opportunities of current, right?
100%.
And that shit sucks. And now, like, this weekend, you're living in the past weekend. Like, fuck, I shouldn't, right? And it can become... it can become thematic, and it can become just like we were just saying that. We do that, and you'll see people do that, man. And to avoid the now, they do live in the past or they do live in the future because the now is scary sometimes. Talking to that girl at the bar is a little more intimidating than let me just invest in this thing. That's just a thing, 100%. Right? And we have to just recognize that and call ourselves on that shit. Like, all right, I'm being a bitch right now, and I need to da-da-da. And we all do it. I do it. Everyone has these things. But I think recognizing it is first, and then being like, all right, I want to do something about it, you know. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
So get a time machine and fix that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have gray hair from that shit.
Yeah, call this man. The fuck are you doing? Or else I gotta jerk him off. What the?
Yeah. So I gotta try out the blowfish on him.
Yeah.
It's just not.
I think we do this on this couch for.
Yeah.
Cut them cameras off. That's on our subscription based YouTube channel.
Yep. Good thing these aren't black lights.
Gross. Fuck. What was shit? There was. I have a million things I like to fucking rant about, but there was what was the thing I was going to talk about? Oh, the thing that I was talking with Randy about, right? And Randy, like I said, him and I have had really dope conversations, and we started talking about like getting to know people and being out. And he was like, he was talking about like at one point, he was just defined as the nice guy because he was quiet. So, oh, Randy's so nice. He's nice. He didn't like that. Like there was.
I believe it.
And him and I, the more he and I talk, I realized that we're very, very similar. Both like side shit, but we're both like late bloomers in life that came out of conversation, but then like also like very very just isolated in a way. And I've only maybe in the last 10 years gotten more opinionated and more like vocal. But I was always that guy too, where people liked me because I would be around, but they liked me because I was nice and I was quiet. And I started to realize that like, oh, like I'm liked because I'm nice. I just kind of nod and kind of agree with things and throw in a little thing, but I don't own the conversation. And people like that. Like it's like we like dogs because they're here, but they don't. Like we talk about children, be seen and not heard, and all these things, right? And he kind of catches that too, and I empathize with that a little bit because I had that thought as well. And you start to think like, well, that's the only reason they like me. Like it's not like I contributed to that conversation. Why do they all like you? Like me so much, and you've hung out with me for 6 months, and I haven't really contributed to a whole lot. So what the fuck do you like about me? The fact that I stand here and I'm quiet and I kind of agree and I'm a human. So you can get really cynical about that and be like, well, I haven't. What do you like about me? And you think about it, like that's where he's at in the world, right? Yeah. He'll be in a conversation and until recently won't contribute a whole lot, but at the same time, I've always liked him. And then I got to think, well, why? Maybe I've just liked a guy that'll nod when I talk to him. You know what I mean? And you can really internalize that and think like, man, why did? And anyway, so I was talking to him, and it becomes this thing that we start to allow people to define us. And if you say I'm a nice guy and these things, and you reinforce this positively, you like me because of these things, I now have to live up to this way you've defined me. Right. And now I'm the quiet guy that nods and smiles because, that's what people like about me. And the way people define us and describe us is the mask that we wear. And that's why I really believe that. And like we all wear these masks of like how we want to be seen, and we don't want to be like our flaws, right? So we wear these masks, and I realize that our masks are a lot of times defined by the way other people see us. So if you say, hey, Sean's always super cheery and super positive, I know my mask has to be super cheery and super positive, because if I'm negative, then I'm not the thing you saw me as. So I need to, I'm putting on a role, I'm playing a role for other people around us. And I was telling him, I was like, we all do that. It's a natural thing. Where he's at is natural, but also my liberating world has been to recognize that that's bullshit, that the mask is bullshit, and I wear the mask because I'm trying to keep up with everyone else. And then you realize, oh, we all have masks. Everyone's got a mask. And we all, behind the mask, have guilt and dark shit and skeletons in our closet and all these things. And so if that's the case, why can't I take mine off? Why can't I just be like, oh, the minute you say, hey, Sean's always positive and whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, but I'm cynical as fuck, and I think I'm a piece of shit, and whatever, right? And I could just go down this list to try to, and that is what I do in like the last 5 or 10 years as a purpose of breaking. When I hear the way someone defines me, I immediately go to the opposite. Like, yeah, I'm those things, but I'm also these shitty things too. Because what I'm doing is it has zero to do with correcting you. Has more to do with correcting my subconscious to never accept your definition of me. Because if I do, then I'm building a mask again, and I don't want that. So I fucking chop that down immediately and say, yeah, I'm great, but I'm also really shitty in these things and whatever, right? And I need to do that now because I don't like the mask part. And I was telling Randy, like, the thing with the mask is we do it to please other people and to solidify other people's opinions of us. But at the end of the day, they don't help you sleep at night. Yeah. Other people's opinions of me don't rock me to sleep. I sleep with myself, my own brain. It's just me. Whenever we go to sleep, we take our mask off, and that's why people struggle with sleeping, because they fucking struggle with who is behind the mask. Yeah. Because when the door's closed and you're at home, it is just fucking you. And now you're faced with the bullshit you've been telling the world. And now there's a guilt thing, and there's a whole downward spiral that can go with that. And I've now concluded that, you know what, fuck the mask. That is more detrimental than just being like, here I am with all my flaws, and here I'm a fucked up human being, and I'm a degenerate in these things, right? And I would much rather own that in the public spectrum, because I can go home and just be like, hey, yeah, I'm the same piece of shit at home that I was out there. Awesome. Sleep like a fucking baby. And I do. I sleep very, very well for as fucked up as I am, because I own all the fuck ups. And I think, in a way, that's my public service. When I have a conversation with someone and they feel them trying to put me on a pedestal, I'm like, hold on, here's all the ways I'm fucked up.
Right.
Now you can identify. See, here's that. Like I ripped that mask off. Like I don't want to wear that shit, and you could take off yours too. And I to me, that's been my over the last 10 years or so been my connection with people is that I am okay being vulnerable and flawed, so you can as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think people have enough relationships with people that are that. Instead of it's mask, and we always, well, I just bought this new phone, and hey, well, me and Sherry, we really hit it off on that date, and it's like this whole, we're all phoning the fuck up, and social media doesn't obviously help that. That's
Not
probably where it becomes its worst. But you see it outside of social media. You see it in personal conversations with people where people are dick measuring everything.
Yeah.
Well, I got the new car, and did you get this membership on? It's like, fuck off. Like, here, let me tell you, I'm in debt. I went bankrupt. Like, I'll tell people, don't you want to ever hear anything bad about me? Go ahead and compliment me, because I'll give you fucking 10 more. And mainly because I'm so frightened of ever wearing the mask again that I will fucking fight you tooth and nail to never, like, nope, you don't get to put me on a pedestal. I will never put you on one either.
Yeah.
Because I recognize that all masks are bullshit. And that's what a lot of that ego shit is. So that was this talk I had with him, and he's young, so he's coming into this and still trying to understand it. But for me, I was like, it's okay where you are. Be comfortable where you are right now, where you don't contribute a lot and this and that, because you just don't have a lot of life experience, and that's fucking fine. That's a natural place to be. The reason I am where I'm at is just because I have more life experiences. Yeah. So I can fucking go off and speak with some level of authority that could be bullshit too, but I feel like I can share more. And if he doesn't, I don't. It's like you don't have to force sharing, because then it's fake and it's not who you. Be just who the fuck you are. And so to me, like, it's really neat because I see him and I'm like, you are me 15 years ago. And so I see that in a way. And so him and I have had some really, really cool conversations that are like on a friend level, but also on like a big brother level. I feel like, and it's helpful because it helps me identify, like, how did I get from there to where I am? And I did through this way, not by fucking accident, by just being a people watching, being very self-observant, and be very self-aware, and just being like, oh, that's bullshit. Why do we do it this way? Oh, just because we've always done it this way? Man, fuck that, right? And like, I will redefine anything. Like, I don't live by anyone's definitions of fuck all. And that's why I've told you in the past, like, I took back the word selfish. I'm taking back the word narcissistic. All these things. Like, you want to call me those things? Fucking thank you. Yeah. You know, I don't live by your rules of your definitions of society's taboo of negative and positive. Like, fuck all that shit. And I don't know, man. It comes from this really cynical place, but this super liberating place, and I feel so free about it that I feel like I'm fucking televangelizing, man. I'm gonna start knocking on doors. Like,
there you go.
Have you heard about my Lord and Savior yourself? Let me tell you about finding yourself. I need to come up with a book now. Think about,
there you go.
Steve Harvey, I'm calling you, baby.
Yeah, that's a good book title, just finding yourself.
Yeah, like learning about your Lord and Savior. ... You. And like in the front of the cover of the book will just be a mirror. There you go. Bam. Book that shit. I'm good. Gonna be rich. But yeah, I mean, obviously I can go on for fucking hours and hours on this, but like it's I think it's quite simple and it's super complex, but it all starts with saying fuck what everybody else thinks about you, and fuck what even they've taught you to think about you. Strip it all down. Nothing is real. Everything's real. You know what I mean? Like recognizing that it's all legit and it's all bullshit at the same time, and you're now liberated to just be whoever the fuck you want to be. Well, there are no square pegs and there are no or circle pegs. There's none of these. Like, you don't have to fit in one or the other.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the things, like everything about the way that you look at yourself, the way that people look at you is subject to change. Yes. Like, there's no like, okay, boom, this is what you are. Like you're saying with him, like, you're the nice guy, boom, you're the nice guy forever. It's like, no, like, you can change that. You can be, another version of that. You can still be that and add something to it. Yep. There's just a lot of options. But yeah, I had that same thing, and I think I'm still like kind of in the process of figuring out some of that too. But yeah, I had that realization of just, okay, it doesn't matter what these people think of me. It doesn't matter what this happens, because that used to be a big thing for me too. Yeah.
And we are simplistic creatures. If I'm defining you, I will define you in the most simplest of terms because I need it to be simple for me. Right. I can't define you. We do it with politics, right? Are you Republican or Democrat? We don't. And when you really talk to people, it's way more complex than that, right?
Yeah.
But we want to label people because we like it being simple. I need you to be the nice guy, and this to be that person, that to be the asshole, and this. And the truth is, you're the nice guy, the asshole, this, and we're all everything. And what we do is we get caught up in other people's simplicities. Like, well, he says I'm the nice guy, so I have to be, or I'm the financially responsible one, so I can't splurge on that because that'll ruin this image that people have of
Right.
me. No, you can be a good saver and a good investor and still go fucking bonkers at fucking hibachi or some shit. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the fucking trap. Is we're caught up in living up to other people's super exaggeratingly, damagingly simple fucking definitions of us.
Yeah.
One word snapshots of us, and we feel like we got to live up to that. Fuck
Right.
you. Like, I'm not living up to shit. You can tell me who
Yeah.
I am, and it won't fucking matter because I didn't ask you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you could be like, "Oh, you're such a great guy." Well, cool. I didn't ask you because your opinion of me has zero fucking impact on
Yeah.
me. Because if I allow it to have impact on me, then I allow also your insults to have impact on me.
Right.
And then I am impacted only on you. You know what I mean? Then I also your word carries more weight than my own word of myself. Fuck that. Like your
Yeah.
word, zero fucking weight in my mind. And that's out of all respect too. That's like not even
Right.
it says that again, I am the most important slice of pie in the 7 billion slices of pie on this planet. Period. Other people I hold also, but never above myself.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. I sleep with only me. That's it. I die and it's only fucking me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why the fuck am I gonna live according to other people? Like that shit
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. We don't make a death pact that we die together. We definitely ain't cuddling together. You know what I mean? Like, so
Definitely
at,
not on camera.
at the end of the day, why the fuck am I living according to Tyler's vision of me? You know what I
Right.
mean? That's
Yeah.
it's the most backwards fucking thing ever that we put how we live secondary to everything else. Like we can't create logical consistencies with how everything else is. You're born alone, you die alone, you sleep alone. Like it is just you and all these things.
Yeah.
Why are you living amongst with this in other people's worlds?
Right.
Why not you? Like it's that Joe Rogan thing about be the hero of your own story.
I
Fuck
love that.
yes, I will be. I'll be the villain, the fucking hero, the anti-hero, everything. But
Yeah.
you know what I won't be, motherfucker? The fucking victim. It's the
Yes.
only thing in the story that I will never be cast for, and that's cool with me because I want to be every character.
Yeah.
I don't want to. The problem is we think we're one character, and we're not. We're complex as fuck, and if we allow other people their laziness to define us, then we will lazily accept that because we don't want to deal with our own demons because that's complex and that's scary. What are you defining this as? What is it, or what's the title of
The title of this. So I was just coming up with something weird to talk about.
Yep.
Right. And so I figured the internet's pretty weird. Why don't we start there?
Yep.
And figure out what some of the weirdest internet trends are of 2019.
Perfect.
So here's the top 10. We'll just get right into it.
The old World Wide Web.
Yeah. So this one I was kind of surprised at.
This top 10. What is it again? Top 10 internet.
Top 10 weirdest internet trends.
Weirdest internet trends of the year.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I would say like something that it's not just a thing that happened, but it's
Yep.
like a movement. Right.
Became
So
like viral or something.
viral.
right?
People are doing it. But it's weird.
Oh jeez.
Right.
Yep. I can already think of some. But go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. So we'll see. This one I didn't know was a thing. This is rolling in at number 10. Naked butts in front of pretty scenery photography.
Naked butts and stuff. Oh really?
So
Like
this is the
mooning
picture that
folks?
they have.
What?
Like mooning people,
That's-
but it's over a giant landscape. But it's all over Instagram. And
Phew.
what it is Instagram has like, if it was just like a picture of somebody's, like naked ass, right?
Uh-huh. They take it down.
They take it down.
Yes.
But since it's in front of this giant scenic landscape,
Yep.
they leave it up. Because technically, it's art.
It's nature and it's
It's
art.
nature.
That's great.
So
So
people
thirst
have-
trapping, not art.
Thirst trapping, not art.
Scenic thirst trapping.
Put your ass out on the beach in the sunset.
Magnificent.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfectly okay.
All right. Didn't know about this trend.
Yeah.
All right.
Some of these are real dumb, and that starts with this one. The hot water challenge. Which is exactly what it sounds like.
Are they pouring it on themselves or drinking it?
Pouring them... Okay, so there's two ways to do this. You boil water,
All right.
and then you either drink it through a straw or you pour it on yourself.
Dude, fuck. Boiled?
Boiling
Man,
water.
fuck you, dude. Darwin, come see us.
It said YouTube took it down and curbed it, but yeah, that was one of the few on this list that have to do with burning yourself.
That's dangerous as fuck.
It's just common sense. Like, you literally, it's your options are boil water and drink it through a straw.
What?
Or pour it over yourself.
I kind of want to see some idiots do this for some reason,
Right?
like, and then just see them suffer. Be like, yeah, what'd you think was gonna happen?
Yeah. So, on a similar vein of burning yourself, we have the salt and ice challenge. So, if burning yourself with hot water wasn't good enough, now you're burning yourself with cold.
The salt, what's Sultan?
Yes.
Like the Sultan or
Salt. Salt and
inside?
ice.
Oh, salt and ice challenge.
So, you put salt and ice on a part of your body, and combines a chemical reaction that leads to serious chemical burns.
What the fuck? Like, what? These are the dumbest challenges in the world.
It's basically you give yourself frostbite from putting salt, because salt makes ice
So
significantly colder.
It's
so
like-
you're putting ice and salt on yourself and basically giving yourself frostbite.
is Russian roulette like a? Could that be
It's
a
not
part of
on
these
here,
challenges?
but
Like, hey, let's shoot ourselves.
Right, but I'm like, this is like, that was a
What the
thing
fuck?
where in middle school there was like the cinnamon challenge.
Right. Yep.
Right.
People were getting that in their lungs and shit. Right.
Yeah, well, one of my friends did it, and he ate like a giant tablespoon of cinnamon and couldn't breathe. I was like, spouting it out. He was throwing up. Oh, it was nasty. But it was one of those things where it's like, why are we doing
fucking
that? I could kind of get, but then it's like, oh, we're just pouring boiling water and giving ourselves frostbite.
Yeah, like I get the fear factor side of that. Like, hey, will you eat this gross shit? Like, will you eat some some cow dick or whatever the fuck they eat in Fear
Right.
Factor? Right.
It's like, hey, drink this boiling water real
Yeah,
quick.
I get a challenge of this will be gross. This will seriously harm you is not a challenge
Right.
I'm even slightly interested in.
Yeah, here we go. This is one I didn't know about. Rolling in at number 7, furry nails.
I, for some reason, know about this.
Do you?
I saw it once and it was like, that looks like the dumbest shit ever. And it didn't last long.
No, it didn't, but yeah, it was something where, you just have your nails and it's fur all over them. It's weird.
How?
Hella weird to me, but at least you're not burning yourself.
Yeah. You're not causing bodily harm.
So this one I did know about, condom snorting.
I oddly know about this too, but I know it didn't last long.
It didn't.
And
Some of these were very brief.
there's nothing harmful about it, right? I mean, think about it. Carnival people have done the whole spaghetti thing before. Like magicians do all that. Is there a harm in it?
Yeah.
If you
I
get
mean, if
stuck,
you know
I
what you're
imagine it's
doing.
harm.
Right. Yeah, because you can choke.
You can.
So, yeah.
Going,
Well, think about it. You're inhaling latex.
yeah, if it gets stuck, you're done.
Right.
Right.
So if it gets stuck in there, your nose isn't quite what you thought it was. You know, if like something gets snagged.
You're man.
That's-
I don't
that's where you
imagine
breathe.
like nasal cavities are that
Because
big.
the
Maybe
whole
they
point
are. I
is
don't
you
know that
snort
stuff.
it through your nose and then out through your
Come out
mouth.
your mouth. But what I'm
So if
getting at
something
is
gets stuck like back
there
in
are
your
people
throat,
that are like that have done the traveling circus shows that have
Sure.
done that for centuries.
Right.
Not the condoms, obviously, but like maybe strings and noodles. So probably that's why we
Noodles.
see.
Right. A
I've
condom,
never understood that at all. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing that needs to go up my nose
Right.
except some blow. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding, kids.
And on top of it, it can also cause like a ton of infections and stuff like that.
Can it?
Yeah, especially if it's a used condom. But
There we go. The used condom challenge, snort challenge.
heard it here first.
Hey, we're starting trends now,
Yeah.
baby. 2020, 2020,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, this is one that it's pretty entertaining. Parent shaming. So one of the things, I guess, the more younger and younger kids that get access to the internet are now using it to shame their parents into getting them stuff that they want. Or it'll be stuff like, hey, like, you got grounded? Cool. Now I'm going to go out online and just flame my parents for it.
So okay,
But in
so
a way, like,
venting. What do you mean? I don't
kind
understand
of.
the difference between parent shaming. It's not. Is it not? It's not like the pet shaming where they put a sign over their pet and like I chewed the trash and they take a picture of them.
No.
Not that. Okay.
It's like legit, like putting up on like Reddit or something. Like, hey, like my parents did this, and just throwing all that shit out there and like flaming them for it. That one's not like as weird.
Back in the 90s, that was in the late 90s. That was blogs, diaries, and blogs.
It's like diaries or blogs, but it's just a lot more public. So it's kind of just like airing your laundry out.
That'll get your ass beat, by the way.
Right.
Your parent, like I'm a tech savvy parent. I read that shit. Oh, we circling back.
This one is hands down my favorite on this entire list. Funeral selfies.
Yes. I didn't know there was a trend, but I get it.
There's a trend. So, actually...
Smiling. Oh, wait.
Like...
Funeral selfies.
Funeral.
Fuck.
Funeral.
Not like, oh, we have to see a funeral, me and grandma.
No.
So close.
Like, you had an open casket, your grandma, I'm sitting right here, smiling, taking a picture.
Yo.
Yeah.
Who? Where? Why? What? Where are you sharing something like this? Like,
right?
Why is this a shareable moment?
I don't know. But what's weird is people did this way back in the day when photos were first invented. I did some research on this one.
Really?
Because back in like Victorian times or something like that, when people died, they would take photos with their dead relatives like propped up in the picture so that way they could have something with them.
Yes, this is...
This is not that. But people have been doing shit like this for a while.
I've heard of this.
So it's literally about like taking a picture with the corpse.
And it's like...
And all of them, they're like smiling and like, it's weird.
To me, it's like, say grandma, right?
Right.
You clearly, if you have to do it at the funeral, you clearly weren't close with grandma in the fucking first place.
No.
Otherwise, you'd have an assortment of photos already with grandma in much better circumstances that you could share. Why that one? Like, oh, fuck, I haven't seen grandma in 20 years. One last time, Gramps.
Right. I don't know.
What the fuck, man? All right.
Pretty weird.
If I saw that, if I was like at my mom's or somebody's funeral, right, and I saw it, I'd be like, yo, get the fuck off the stage before you get drop kicked.
Right.
Can you imagine a selfie stick too? Like, hey, we out here filming a boomerang.
Picking the hand up and like letting it drop.
Well, we out here. Hashtag what is dead may never die, baby. Game of Thrones.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
So this one, hands down, is the grossest. It's called 100 Layers. And so you know how there's like these beauticians or whatever, these beauty trends, like people, do like their YouTube videos and be like, hey, like this is how you do such makeup tutorial.
Okay, yes.
This is like that, except for you're just putting 100 layers of something on yourself.
Oh. Of makeup?
Like, whatever. It could
like
be
clothing?
Like,
that's when I hear 100 layers, that's what I follow.
On your skin. So it's 100 layers of something. So like, let's say it's makeup, you're putting 100 different layers of makeup on you.
And it's just caking.
I'm sure it could be food.
I'm super curious about this for some reason.
Yeah.
Is there a picture example of this one?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No. So this is the picture that they gave for this one. So it's just a bunch of caked on makeup.
Like Halloween makeup.
Okay. Apparently this does apply to clothes as well. So it can be anything.
That'd be a fun, like...
So it's literally just putting 100 layers of something on yourself. So it could be clothes, food, makeup.
So that's a copycat challenge, by the way.
Is it?
In a way. There's a Friends episode. Look it up.
Okay.
Joey from Friends is mad that Chandler hid his...
the Thanksgiving one.
Where he hid his Thanksgiving pants.
Yeah.
He had his Thanksgiving pants, and Joey was mad that Chandler hid him. He's like, oh, you're going to hide my clothes? Well, I'm going to wear every single one of yours. And he comes with all his shirts and jackets, all his shorts and pants.
Right.
It's pretty fucking spectacular. So that's the minute you said that, that's what I pictured. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
100 layers, I can get it. I'm down with that.
Yeah. So we're back to burning. This one, we figured out that water and fire and ice, water and ice wasn't good enough. We're just going straight to fire. So we have the fire challenge. So for everyone that giving yourself frostbite wasn't enough, Wikipedia's definition is particularly great. Fire challenge is an activity which refers to the application of flammable liquids to one's body and then setting the liquids aflame while being videoed.
Well, hold on. This is an old one, right? It's the one where people were like lighting themselves on fire in the bathtub and shit. And
so that was a thing.
Yeah.
This one, it's people dousing themselves completely in lighter fluid and then lighting themselves on fire.
So are they dying? This is a death thing, right?
I'm sure they have died, but worst case, they're getting severely burned.
Again. Now look.
Why?
I'll give you a side story. I've done the idiot thing. Not idiot thing, but we had a thing where
Hand sanitizer?
No, I've heard that.
That
though.
works.
I've done the whole thing with a lighter, and you take your hand like a bowl, and you take you don't spark it. You just let the fluid go, and you just let the fluid kind of go inside the bowl of your hand and on the outside. Then you light it. It goes woof, and it goes away.
Yeah.
And even that would scare the shit out of me, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's about the extent of that.
Yeah.
But I've heard of the hand sanitizer thing too, like on your hands or something.
I've done that.
It's like a magic trick, basically. It poofs and goes.
Yeah, it's there. There's some fire, and then it goes. But this is different. It's literally dousing your body in lighter fluid, catching it on video, and then just lighting yourself on fire. And the most concerning part about this is all the other trends on this. This is the only one that's growing.
I promise you, I've seen this challenge years ago. It was on. I see it on World Star and all
There's
this.
been different varieties of
and
this.
people did the funny thing, and then some people were like, "Holy fuck, what mistake have I made?" And they're running through the house, catching shit on fire.
No.
It's like, yeah, your whole house should burn down and stay there.
And so should you.
Because Darwin says so.
Yeah, and this is the last one, at least on this list, but definitely the weirdest. I don't know if it's the weirdest one. I think funeral selfies might take the cake. But one of the top trending video categories right now is pimple popping.
I know people that are into this shit.
I had no idea.
Oh, it's fucking atrocious. I've known people. Woo's one of them. These motherfuckers are into this shit, and they send them like, "Oh, check this one out." Like, fucking don't send me that shit.
Right. But
Don't
it's literally just watching videos
Yes.
of people getting their pimples popped.
It's the reason I stopped
Pimples,
watching
blackheads.
Tosh.0.
Really?
Because his shit was funny, and then it just became so we're just doing gross shit on your show? Cool, not interested. Not interested in watching like Mondo zits get popped and
Right.
Ugh, I'm visualizing it now that you just said it. Ugh.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they look like those. Remember when you couldn't afford firecrackers, so you get the snake that no one wanted to use, and you burn it, and it just goes.
Yeah.
That's how some of those look.
Oh.
There you go. There's a good image for you, dog.
Yikes.
It is gross, and it's also not a new trend.
It's not.
It's been around for a long time.
It has, but it's now picking up steam. So these are some of the top things that are still on the internet that are weird. So it's not necessarily new.
That they became 2019.
Right. It's not new for 2019, but it's just stuff that's either still around, becoming big. I couldn't believe how many of those were just burning. Like burning yourself.
Yeah, I don't really get that. Like,
I mean, it'll weed out the stupid.
It's an obvious thing. Like, oh, let's do this whole cut veins challenge. You know, like, what are we doing here? You know, really terrorists don't have to do shit to us. They just have to start a challenge. We'll do it to ourselves. Oh, how about the new hot 2020, the beheading challenge? Yeah. We call this the internal jihad. And they'd make it popular. They would spread on social media, and then there would just be tons of YouTube videos of us cutting our own heads off for them.
Well, that was.
That's exactly how. That's how dumb we fucking are.
Yeah, and Jesus. Then there was the one I showed you on, what was it, yesterday, of the milk one. Or the liquids thing to like everybody hurts, but it's the everybody squirts challenge.
Yes.
It's just like people looking
shit
over
like
really
that's
slowly.
Stupid, but at least funny to me. Like you're not harming yourself.
Nobody's
ones are really dumb.
Yeah. Here's one more. This was an honorable mention that wasn't on that list, but I found somewhere else that I forgot about. So obviously the Tide Pod one was a thing.
Yep.
That one was just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't think that one needs any explanation.
Eat poisonous shit. Cool.
Right. Eat laundry detergent. Forgot about this one. The Kylie Jenner lip challenge.
Yes. So it looks to me, to be honest with you, when I go out the clubs or the bars or see the social media, people are still doing that challenge in some weird way because shit looks swole.
Yeah.
So bee stings be happening out there.
So for those of you that don't know what it is basically taking like a shot glass or something, putting your lips in it, and then just sucking incredibly hard for a while. Then it pops out and really harms your lips, causes them to swell up and look basically
and
fat.
Congratulations, you suck really hard for life.
Yeah.
You just suck as a human being.
Yeah. And if it makes you feel any better, Kylie Jenner admits to using lip filters.
Hey. Filters like on the phone?
On her photos, yeah.
Damn. See that? That's the mask shit. Fucking masks.
I knew it was going to
don't get me started again.
No.
Motherfucking
But
Kylie
so
Jenner.
there you go. Some of the weird internet trends all the way from taking pictures with dead grandma.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean the trendy shit when I was fucking back in my day before the internet was putting marshmallows in your mouth and saying "chubby bunny," challenging each other. It's like it was
You mean
really
it wasn't
innocent.
lighting yourself on fire
No.
and giving you frostbite?
And trying to find the one guy in the neighborhood that had the weed. That was kind of it. Those were our challenges.
There you go.
It's like,
Yeah.
or I remember I was saying this to somebody recently. Actually, I was reminiscing about being in middle school. When I was walking under a bridge, I was like, man, middle school, that was the whole thing. To go under the bridge and, did you bring the cigarettes? And we'd smoke cigarettes and curse. We were in elementary school even. It's like, we get the curse, smoke it, and try to read this spray paint and act like we're badasses. And, yep, that was the thing.
There you go.
Chalmette, baby. Chalmations. That's the town I'm from. White Trash Central. Chalmations in the house.
There you go.
Yep.
But yeah, so.
That was our shit. We didn't have this shit.
No.
I'm glad. I'd have probably been an idiot and tried them.
Yeah, the only one I've done with that is the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
Didn't go well.
Did you try that one?
Yeah.
I love cinnamon, and I had zero interest in that shit.
I tried it.
Like cinnamon on my fucking sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
My oatmeal.
I like it in small
My
doses.
tea.
Yeah. The other one, and I tried to pull it up. The subreddit that Samer found since he couldn't be here today. It's one of my favorites, but apparently they took it down. It's called Fat Squirrel Hate.
Really?
So
Is it as?
it has nothing to do with squirrels.
Oh, all right. Well, damn. Now I'm interested.
Well, okay, so it is pictures of squirrels.
Okay.
So basically on Reddit, they kind of nerfed it a little bit to where they took basically like fat shaming and all that out. So these people that still wanted to rant about fat people post a fat picture of a squirrel and
Yes!
then roast them.
Oh my fucking god!
It is
It still
incredible.
exists?
I couldn't find it. I was looking on Reddit today for it. And I think they took it down because they figured it out. But it
Dude.
is so great.
The evolution of trolling in our world is so amazing. That is funny as fuck to me.
Right?
That's like, we can't shame these kind of people. Cool, we'll shame that animal right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you'll see, I think they switched it to Fat Squirrel Tolerate. But there'll be stuff like this, like big juicy squirrel juicing up, and he's just sitting there
And then people just comment, just roasting the squirrel, right? Yeah.
Right. So it's this one.
God, dude.
Druid caught outside McDonald's feeding a chunky boy.
Shit like this is what'll make me like Reddit. I don't like going to Reddit because it's too complicated. There's too much going on. Everybody's hating too much. But shit like that makes Reddit seem super entertaining.
Easily, it was my favorite thing on Reddit for a lot. Because and the best is when it's not even veiled. It's just a picture of a fat squirrel, and then the person that put it up is roasting them. And it can be specific, throwing names in there. Oh, it was so funny.
That's hilarious, dude.
But unfortunately, I could only find Fat Squirrel Tolerate and then Fat Squirrel Love now. But I'm sure one of those is still Fat Squirrel Hate, just in disguise.
Goes to prove, just like Joe Rogan used to say this every time at the early days of UFC when they would do pay-per-views and they would have to do their disclaimer of you can't illegally download or blah 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 broadcast. And after that would be done, they would cut to the live mics and Joe Rogan would always be like, "You can't stop the internet." And he would just always be like, "Yeah, that's a nice disclaimer, but you can't stop the internet." He's right, because everybody streams. But that's the shit. Even this fat squirrel shit, it's you can't stop the internet. It'll go for good and for bad. It'll fucking go.
That's my favorite, is that it started with them just roasting fat people. Then they were like, "Oh, you won't let us do that? We're going to disguise it as squirrels."
Then when squirrels goes down, ittle just be something else. Look at that fat tadpole or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Incredible.
Bullies, the evolution of bullying is insane.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, Reddit.
Not proud of this, but I snapped at a fat lady over the weekend.
You did, actually. Yeah. Share on that one.
So, in my infinite wisdom, decided to run a half marathon on Thanksgiving Day. So this past Thursday, without training for it at all. So, when I say I ran once in the 2 months I had leading up to this, it was, for 2 miles. And outside the cardio and the training that we do here, I was like, I'll be fine. I might be a little sore the next day.
Nope.
Whew.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, it was about 6 or 7 miles in where my foot started hurting. Everything was starting to feel heavy. And I was like, fuck, I still have half this race to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, who does this for fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people that do,
But it was good. I found some interesting things out about myself.
yeah.
Where
Self-exploration.
A little self-exploration. For example, I know, like, after about running for 8 miles, I start talking to myself like a crazy person.
Nice.
As I'm running. Yeah, I was getting some looks for that. And it apparently all it takes to get me to snap at a fat person is run for 10 miles.
There it is.
So
we found your line. Where your line
my
is.
line is get me running for 10 miles and I will snap at somebody trying to encourage me. So
don't you say nice things to me.
Right. So yeah, what happened was I was running and kind of getting tired. Everything's hurting. I've been paying like still have 3 miles to go. I'm starting to pick up the pace a little bit and I'm still like talking to myself and all this stuff. And something that's always driven me nuts is the people right on the edge of the race. See, like, I get it, you're going out to support your family or something, that's one thing. But if it's very obvious, like, you just parked a lawn chair out and you're just, like, sitting there, like, hey, like, you got this, you know? I can't stand it. So I'm
They're
like,
supporting you.
I know! I don't know why. I was in a very weird place, because I was like, everything hurts, I just want this to be over with.
Right, it's kind of like when you're hangry, you know, like anybody, even people being nice to you, like, man, fuck off, fuck with your compliments.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this mood was. I was in a weird place. I'm in pain. I just want this race to be over with. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, yeah, it was weird. So this lady is sitting on the side, and she's been cheering people on this whole race. For whatever reason, she was like, you're almost there. You can do this. And I just turned to her, and I was like, I don't see you fucking running, as I'm running past her. And I even like slowed down a little bit to like make sure that she got it. And she just had this look of like, oh, like
someone's having a bad day.
Yeah, but I just said it so aggressively that I was like, I don't see you fucking running. And then she was like, oh, and then I just kept talking to myself for the last 3 miles.
You're an asshole, man.
I felt after the race, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. But that side came out of me where I was like,
She's gonna be like, how old was she probably?
I mean, probably 50s, 40s.
Yeah, she's 50s. Gonna be at her grandkids' Christmas morning. They're gonna be opening up gifts. And they'll be, thanks, Grandma. You got us this great. She's sipping her coffee, and a slow tear's gonna go down. She'll be like, but I wasn't running that day, was I, grandchild?
It's like, it could have been me.
The boy was right.
It's like, yeah, she say Thanksgiving dinner later.
Wheel me outside, children. I need to look at the flowers. You fucking ruined her Christmas. Congratulations,
I definitely ruined her Thanksgiving. Because now she's sitting down at this table with this giant meal in front of her.
Yeah.
And now she's like, oh, that guy thinks I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He called me out. I'm not running. I'm sitting here eating this pie. I watch people run all morning.
They're like, hey, we're out of sodas. Can you go on a drink run real quick? Run! Everybody is attacking me today.
Soda? How about we at least just get Gatorades?
Oh, that turkey really hit me. I got the runs. Oh, running again. She just
it's like every time with the running.
Enough with the running. Kids are running around the house. She's like, no running in my house. They're like, God, what's kind of to grandma?
So I'm tired of y'all rubbing it in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with myself.
Poor woman.
Yeah. I like I said, I got into a weird place. I was like snarling and shit, like just trying to like, at first it started with like, okay, my friends that trained for this, I'm running this with, I was like, I'm gonna beat them. So I started just taking off. Then I had this thought of like, I'm only halfway through this. Should I be pacing myself a little bit more? And I was like, nah. And I just kept going. And then that's when everything started to like spiral out.
I used to do that. So a long time ago, I used to run long distances, and I would like run 7 to 10 miles a pop. Had books on tape, and I would just kind of find the euphoria of it. And I used to do that thing where I was worried about keeping the wrong pace and being too slow. So I was like, well, after a while, it's hard to speed it up. So I started off hard and saw if I can carry it through.
Right.
Sometimes you can't, sometimes you can. But to be honest with you, like you said, when you found your voice part, I was telling you that's where I think I found my voice too. Is like, you gotta have, like, it's that fuck you voice. Like, nothing screams at you to quit more than your body just getting fucking murdered.
Yeah.
And it's really up to you to just stop. You can stop at any moment.
Right.
And it'll stop. It'll chill for you. You take a seat, right? And to still power through that, I think is where you start finding those dark places in yourself and like being comfortable in them. And that's, we talked about that forever for fighting and stuff too. And I think that's where I discovered that. So we're talking 12, 15 years ago, I used to run like that. So that's around when I was first introduced to that voice and to that kind of fuck you in me. And so now it's...
I think I have like bits and pieces of it, and I think that's where I like really found like, oh, this is what that feels like. And then I think that poor lady was also like, oh.
He's finding himself. Like, fuck you.
But yeah, it was weird too. Like towards the end of it, like I was still like feeling good, but I noticed like just my attitude, even though like everything from like the waist down was like shutting off basically. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, but upstairs, like I felt fine.
Yeah, it's all that. To me, that's what all this shit is. When you fast, when you do all these like different challenges to yourself, not the fucking dumb burn yourself on fire challenges,
what?
But like physical abilities challenges.
Right.
They're about the upstairs battle. The body will come and go, man. Fucking things will hurt, things will heal.
Yeah.
Things will come and go away. But your brain that's the bigger muscle that's being worked out at all times. So
for sure.
That shit's fun to do.
Yeah, and I got a little taste of that too, I think, in Birmingham last weekend. During that competition.
Yep.
Yeah, especially that first match.
Got buzzsawed, ran into adversity, and then it's like, well, what do we do here? Do we just stop? Or do we to continue? Because there was an opportunity to quit.
Yeah.
He presented a really good fucking opportunity to quit, including taking your shoulder home, right? And leaving it in Birmingham. So that to me is where real growth happens. And I really think that was a moment for you in that tournament too. I told somebody about that recently when I was talking about that. And I was like, you, specifically speaking of you, I was like, the struggle and your previous fights, I think, has been that. It's a mental game. We've talked about this a lot. And I think when you run into opportunities like we did in Birmingham, it's an opportunity to face it and to say, okay, what now? Like, what am I really about when I could just give up? I could say I tried my hardest. Yeah. I mean, the guy was just better. Like, you would have had a great excuse. The guy had a great pass, a great submission. It was legit. And so when you're faced with that and you have the opportunity to just get out, pull your own card, just like with the run, you have an opportunity to pull your own card and take a seat any moment and still say, no, fuck that, and continue, and then include, and then not only continue to survive, but also dominate after that. I think those are moments. Those are, like we talked about earlier, Depeche Mode, everything counts in large amounts. You're collecting small moments at a time, and they build up to create a full picture.
Yeah, I mean, no, other than that, like, that's kind of what I wanted to use, that Birmingham competition, like we were talking about, as like a test, because we had, like, I think, like, I had known about, like, finding, bits and pieces of that, like, mindset you have to be to, in competition, and it's sometimes, like, came out at some really weird times, like that one kid, that, from Muay Thai, a couple weeks ago. That was the time where it came out, but it was too much. Yeah.
But you gotta let the dog out sometimes, take it for a walk, and figure out how to get him walking on a leash right.
Right. And that was something too where it's like in my own training, I want to have more of those like harder, grimy practices, because I felt like that was one of the things I was getting at leading up to that last fight camp from the fight back in August. Is I was like, I didn't have a lot of those times in that camp where I felt like I was getting any reps of that. Just all kind of very light.
Yep. And like just going through the motions in a way.
Going through the motions. A lot of jiu-jitsu, right? So it wasn't like very sports specific either. So I think part of that was like, for me, I was like, oh, like I don't know if I even have like the ability, and that stuff will start to mess with your head a little bit, I think. So I think just being able to have that be like, nope, like you're good. We're gonna test this. Here we go. I thought like that was a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, it's like the old school people with like Wild West with horses, right? You got to break a horse. Yeah. You can't break a horse by leaving it in the fucking stable, right? So your job is to take it out, and you're gonna get bucked sometimes. Yeah, you're gonna have that moment where you went too far with it, and you're like, oh shit, I need to reel it back a little bit. But you don't know that unless you get on that fucking horse and you try to break it, and you try to own it. And the minute you break it, now you know how to control it. We speed up if we need to speed up. We chill if we need to chill. And we stop and get some water if we need to stop and get some water. And that is, I think, the big piece. People are scared to pull that because it's a wild fucking horse. That thing, that evil, that darkness on the inside is a wild fucking horse, and we're afraid of getting on it sometimes.
And and the weirdest part too is, especially with the match in Birmingham, I don't remember any of it.
Really?
I remember like flashes of it.
The first one, you mean?
The first one. I remember the second one.
I have the second one video. I need to still send you.
But I don't remember that much of the first one.
Yeah.
I remember he had like a Kimura. I was down. It was tight. And then after that, that's really all I remember. I remember kind of getting out of it somehow.
Yeah.
I couldn't explain to you what I did or how I did it.
Scramble. That's it.
Scrambled. I'm pretty sure I knee cut it or whatever. And then I just remember being on mount, chilling out there, and looking to finish.
I mean, that's kind of it. That's to a degree.
Right, but but that was all like thinking about it, and then, but like if you would have asked me right after, like, hey, what just happened? I would have been like, I have no idea.
Yeah. But that's because you went to a dark place, and that's good.
But
controlling the dark places is what the best of fighters can do, right? Think of George St. Pierre, one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
Nicest motherfuckers you'll ever fucking ever meet.
Yeah.
A nerd also, but he can tap into the beast.
Yeah.
And that's the key. And you meet
100%.
the other people like what's dude's name that did Bully Beatdown? What's his name?
Mayhem.
Mayhem, right? Mayhem Miller. He found it too, but he couldn't turn it off, and then it fucks your life up.
Right.
So your job is to find the balance. Like I stated before, what's a good quality for you as a human fucks with your quality as a fighter. Being a 100%. Nice person is awesome quality as a human being.
Yep.
It's not the greatest quality in the cage.
Never.
So being able to find the switch and balance and being able to comfortably switch them is huge.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that was all good and fun. Yeah. There you go.
There it is.
Don't burn yourself. Don't snort condoms.
Don't light yourself on fire. Don't snort condoms, even dirty condoms.
Especially.
And don't yell at old ladies on the side of the street.
Yeah, they're just trying to help.
They're somebody's grandma. You're like this guy, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Go give your grandma a hug tonight. Just because they might have ran into a Tyler sometime last week that was hangry.
Yeah. Or if it was your grandma, give her an extra hug.
If you're a grandma, hit Tyler up. He'll dress up as Santa Claus. He'll make amends. He'll show up at the family function, and he'll work pro bono for you guys that night.
Just imagine being Santa Claus dressed up, and she's like handing out everybody presents, and then Santa's like, I don't see me getting a fucking present. She's like, you again? No.
Surprise, motherfucker. You ripped the beard off.
Remember me?
Grandma.
Boom. There it is.
Bye, bitches. Sweet.